I live in the suburb of St. Petersburg in Pavlowsке. It's famous for its palace and park ensemble, listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since 1838, the musical Vauxhall was the idea of Emperor Nicholas I. His aim was to make people use trains as means of transport. At the end of the trip, passengers could relax in the halls of the Vauxhall, listen to the music of great composers, and have a walk in the park. During the Second World War, Pavlovske's musical Vauxhall was completely destroyed. Now I'm going to give you two books. Here you can see some beautiful paintings of the Vauxhall. Yes, you can see paintings and illustrations of the Vauxhall. I propose the restoration of the Pavlovsке musical Vauxhall according to the historical drawings of the architect Steckenstein, and start my museum, theater, hotel and restaurant business. The essence of this business will be to increase the popularity of Pavlovsке as a tourist town, and profits from guests who will attend museums, cafes, theaters, and complex of buildings of Pavlovsке Vauxhall. Currently, Pavlovsке is slightly different from the most parts of the world. Mostly a few tourists who come to Pavlovsке admire works of Cameron brand. After the excursions in the Pavlovsке Palace and approximately in the Pavlovsке Park, almost all tourists live in the if we restore Pavlovsке musical Vauxhall, we will be able to hold the attention of the tourists in Pavlovsке for at least one more day. To do this, we will offer them some additional daytime and evening entertainment programs. Have a look at the screen, please. During the day, tourists will visit museums and cafes of our complex, and in the evening they will have entertaining programs at the Vauxhall Theatre and unusual dishes of our restaurant, which will prepared according to the old recipes. In order for tourists to fully immerse in the atmosphere of the 19th century, all our employees will be dressed in clothes of that time. For the convenience of the guests of our complex on the territory of Pavlovsке musical Vauxhall, I'm going to place a hotel. The proximity of the Pavlovsке to Pushkin, Gatchina and Petikov, where there are also a lot of sites, becomes a reason to stay at our hotel for a few more days. Vauxhall will attract not only out of town and foreign tourists, but also residents of St. Petersburg and its suburbs. Every weekend, all theaters of St. Petersburg are overcrowded, and I don't put only the high standards of opera, ballet, and theatrical performances, but I do it at a low price. I'm absolutely confident in the success of my project. My main advantage is the atmosphere of Petersburg bourgeoisie of the 19th century. There is no such project like mine anywhere in St. Petersburg and Leningrad region, since my competitors have chosen the style of Russian national village. Moreover, Vauxhall will not be built from scratch. It had already grown to be one of the most widespread and successful places in Europe, and had been operating for many years. I plan to restore it according to the project of the architect Schneider, but it will be modernized to meet the needs of modern people. Thus, my project isn't identified, but it's quite profitable and interesting both in terms of consideration and finance. According to my calculations, it is paid off in 5 years. I think it needs to be restored, and I'm a person who is not indifferent to music and envious with the history of my town, and only I can be able to do it best. Thank you for your attention. I have a small present for you from my town. That's magnets. This is in Amur. This is a famous painting in the Pavlowsке Palace. Whenever you go, he always shoots in your heart, and it means that Pavlowsке always with you in your mind. And my brother too. This is my photos near the Vauxhall's lamp. This is the lamp. And in these pictures we can see what we have nowadays. So thank you for your attention.
Yes, I have a question. It's a great idea to feel the atmosphere of the 19th century. Are you going to organize different balls?
Yes, but we have one person who organized balls in Pushkin. This woman, I was on her balls. She has costumes and she invites a lot of people, and we dance their old dancings like waltz and other. Yes, I think it's a great idea to to organize balls in Vauxhall. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a question regarding the Vauxhall in general. Was it considered as a building which has some kind of national value? Would you believe that it may get that name after it will be restored in your view? And would it actually be possible to get some funding from the government?
Yes, it's possible because there was a woman, her name was Anna Ivanovna Zelenova. She was a director of Pavlowsке Palace during the Second World War, and she restored Pavlowsке Palace, Park, Pushkin Palace too, and Kachina Palace. And she wanted to restore Pavlowsке Musical Vauxhall too, but she died in 2000. But government want to restore Pavlowsке Musical Vauxhall too. This is a project of Russian Railways. I was in their museum, and you can see here museum of Russian railways, and they want to restore it, but there is no person who
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I was trying to figure out, according to our laws in 1999, point 4, it says any economic activity may be prohibited on certain lands of historical and cultural purpose, including the lands of cultural heritage, objects subject to research and conservation. So if you're trying to build a hotel, at least a shopping mall, a restaurant, some things of interest, or any type of amenities, you will need to have a bus transportation at least to Pavlowsке, to the resident, to Vauxhall, because you cannot build anything according to the Russian laws close to the historical sites.
If you were in Pavlowsке, yes? You notice that Pavlowsке Park is listed as a UNESCO site, yes, and but the musical Vauxhall isn't a part of a park. It is a railways system. So it's not a part of park and not part of UNESCO heritage site. So I can restore it and make hotel and restaurant business, because there are a lot of buildings in St. Petersburg which are restored, and they have restaurants and cafes and museums there. So my musical Vauxhall is a museum too. So my project is like Pavlovsky Palace or Catherine Palace in Pushkin. So I don't think that it's a problem. Any other questions?
С представителем Swiss Education Group. Буквально пару слов вообще, кто мы такие. Это группа из 4 топовых университетов в Швейцарии. Наше основное направление – это сферы туризма, гостиничного бизнеса, бизнес в целом, менеджмент и кулинария. Полина, которая выступала как Крison, правильно? Отлично. Это была действительно очень вдохновляющая идея. Нам понравился подход, насколько идея сама является частью какой-то творческой личности. В первую очередь можно сказать, что она очень дорогая. Это то, что бросается в глаза. Было бы интересно придумать, как эту идею можно было бы сделать дешевле, как ее можно было бы реализовать в плане финансовом. Но в общем и целом для меня было интересно послушать и про подобный вокзал, я никогда не слышал. Ну и в том числе это некая возможность развития. Она действительно, так скажем, максимально приближена к реалистичности. Хотя бы та сумма более чем 380 миллионов рублей, она приближена к реальности.